ATV News.
From sweeping crescendos to harmonies, we'll show you how much work these kids put in for their upcoming monster concert.
Next team is Garbanos. Let's see where they hit.
These engineers got in on the Halloween spirit. We'll show you why kids got to join in on the fun.
Today we're just, building rock dams and check dams to prevent the erosion.
We'll show you how one Utah conservation team is embracing their inner beaver for the environment.
It's storming now. I'll tell you if your Halloween costume might get soaked this weekend in weather.
I'll show you how the cold and snow didn't help or hurt the Aggies this weekend in sports.
All that and more, this is ATV News.
The snow came down on students walking to class today as the cold weather is taking Cache Valley by storm. Welcome to this edition of ATV News. I'm Kaela Johnson.
And I'm Annika Johns. It went from dry to rain to snow a few hours ago, as you saw in the intro of our show. Sarah Murphy joins us live on the quad with an update. How's it going out there, Sarah?
Thanks, Annika. Not too bad right now, not too bad, especially compared to a few hours ago where we had that big downpour. It's kind of been off and on for the past little bit. What we can learn from this is things really could change any minute. What started today as a nice fall day within minutes went from cold to colder and rained to snow. Utah climatologists say with this being one of the first storms of the season, it's helping us out in our drought here in Utah, but they say it's not an overnight fix.
Drop in the buckets, but it's a start, and we'll take every drop that we can at this point. To break out of the current drought that we're in, it's not going to be a one event, it's not going to be a 1 month, it's not even going to be one season that we're going to need to have above average precipitation conditions. This is a multi-year process.
Meyer says having this kind of weather this early in the season is encouraging. So will these stormy conditions stick around through the week, or can we expect some sunnier skies this Halloween weekend? Stick around and find out later in weather. Reporting live from the quad, Sarah Murphy, ATV News. Back to you, Annika.
Thanks, Sarah.
In other news, this month marks the 4th anniversary of University of Utah student Lauren McCluskey's death. We'll show you what USU and other schools around Utah did to remember her.
Taking another lap? I love it.
Students, community members, and faculty could take a lap at the annual Lauren McCluskey Memorial Walk at the George Nelson Fieldhouse. The walk honored McCluskey, who was shot and killed by her ex-boyfriend outside of her car in 2018 after police failed to take action after her multiple reports of feeling unsafe. Savvy Outreach and Prevention Coordinator Felicia Gallegos says the event landed on the anniversary of McCluskey's death and Domestic Violence Awareness Month.
Lauren McCluskey's death was very close to home. It brought the issue of domestic violence closer to us and made us realize that none of us are untouchable, that it can happen here.
Individuals could sign a pledge saying they promise to believe anyone who comes forward about relationship violence.
You're welcome to take the promise and then hang it up on our wall back here.
And take a walk around the track in silence.
It was hard not to cry. It was really meaningful for me to kind of walk around and just kind of think about everyone we've lost.
Walking the track didn't just allow people to think, it was also a nod to Lauren McCluskey, who was a track athlete at the U. Along the track were statistics to give perspective. One said that every 33 days, there's a domestic violence-related murder in the state of Utah.
It is happening here, and the likelihood of us knowing somebody who's experiencing domestic violence is high.
CAPSA was there to offer their resources.
Last year, for instance, we helped nearly 2,000 survivors. We just want the survivor to know that they get to determine what their journey to healing is going to look like.
JC Caldwell.
It's helping people feel less alone.
ATV News.
You can donate to the Lauren McCluskey Foundation at laurenmccluskey.org.
The Utah Conservation Corps is tasked with preserving and maintaining different areas of Utah. I drove to Moab to see what one team is doing to heal burn scars.
Building dams out of rocks isn't very beaver-like. But this Utah Conservation Corps team is taking their idea to help heal burn scars in eastern Utah.
I was around when this fire happened, actually, and it was unfortunately started from a runaway campfire during a time when there was a fire ban.
In June 2021, a fire started in the Pack Creek campground from an unattended campfire. The burn area emergency response team reported the burning of over 9,000 acres. The soil burn severity map provided by the BAER shows areas where there is an increased chance of erosion and runoff. You can see these areas by the yellow and red colors on the map.
Today, we're just, building rock dams and check dams to prevent the erosion.
In the areas with an increased chance of erosion and runoff, the UCC teams are building a series of rock dams to help stop that erosion and any sediment from flowing into the waters used by the community in Moab. Now, the way that these rock dams works is that they are built in flow lines. The rock dams are then built closely together to only allow water to flow through, stopping any sediment or any other potentially harmful particles from continuing to flow through the water.
These dams are just one step in returning the area to what it used to be. But for these UCC crew members,
so being able to get out here and try and repair some of that damage has been really rewarding.
The Utah Conservation Corps has locations and projects in Logan, Moab, and Cedar City. If you're interested in learning more about the work they do, we'll leave a link on our Facebook page.
You've probably honked at someone going slow in the passing lane, or you've been the one honked at. Claire Scott shows us how left lane loafing is against the law and why we do it anyways.
Oh. Driving into Logan on Highway 89 with my grandma, we happen upon a familiar sight.
Oh, no, they're doing it. They're doing it.
Yeah. And they're going to speed past.
Left lane loafing. It's when a car is in the passing lane, but instead of moving to the right once they have passed, they continue driving in the left lane, often slowly.
Utah law does state that any lane or any roadway that has more than 2 lanes, that left lane should be used as more of as a passing lane.
Yeah, this guy right here.
Why is driving like this red truck a problem? It can get people angry on the road.
It's annoying. I mean, they're going like 15 under and you're like, dude, please.
If they have the chance to get over, I get a little riled up.
When you're walking and someone comes up behind you, it makes sense to move to the right. So why don't we do that when we drive?
Being in a car, you may not have those senses to be able to say, hey, someone's there, if you're totally zoned out and not paying attention. So situational awareness is going to be part of that.
Next time you're driving on a 2-lane highway, if you don't stay aware of the cars around you and keep right, people might think of you like this.
They're dumb.
So annoying, so obnoxious.
We're passing him on the right side.
What do you do when you get stuck behind a loafer?
Take the license plate. We got her.
Don't be like me and my grandma.
Maintain control of your emotions and then wait for a safe time to be able to go around them. The best thing for those individuals is just to get over and let those individuals pass.
Claire Scott, ATV News.
Roden says that the most dangerous product of left lane loafing is road rage. He says to always maintain your emotions and pull off the road if you're angry.
Hispanic Heritage Month is still underway in Logan. To celebrate USU's Latinx program held the Nuestros Raíces event as the grand finale.
Como una mula que yo tengo.
Nuestros Raíces means our roots in Spanish, and each performer brought something from their heritage to share with the audience and show off their Latin pride.
That together we are strong, and also our roots make us strong, and that is the reason why we celebrate our culture.
From Mexico to Hawaii, dancers both big and small had the chance to show their love and respect for their roots. Nuestros Raíces also held a showing of Aztec dance. Marcus Lamb has more on this circle of Aztecs coming up.
For one family, this event is not just a tradition, but a rite of passage. Morgan Perkins shows you how the running of the sheep runs deep in this family.
Over 2,400 sheep stayed the night in Manaway to rest and eat for another journey to winter pastures.
This is about our 86th or 88th year coming along this trail in Brigham City.
The sheep walk about 14 miles every October through Sardine Canyon and the streets of Brigham, headed to Bear River City. This backs up traffic and closes roads.
It will take the sheep over an hour
and a half to get through the canyon, especially with this rainy weather.
Even in the harsh weather, people line the streets to see the flock.
Was this worth getting out of your bed?
It's something that don't happen very often.
Oh my gosh, there's so many. We were in Manaway up there, and we were standing at the end of the street, and we saw them come, and then we chased them down and came over here.
This annual sheep trail has been around since the 1930s, and the route that is used is only for Eve Jensen livestock. It is a trail right for their family, given to them by the state.
And as long as we continue to use that trail each year, we maintain that right. If we failed to do it one year, then we would lose the right and we wouldn't be able to come back another year to do it.
During this trailing, the sheep are conditioned to only follow the shepherd as they walk to the final destination. Eventually, this rite of passage will be passed on.
We're teaching our boys how to do that so they can be the shepherd in the future.
Morgan Perkins, ATV News.
The sheep trailing brought all generations to help. The sheep will be moved a couple more times this winter throughout Bear River City. And Annika, I don't know about you, but I know you're a big fan of sheeps.
I am. Last week we talked about goats, this weekend sheep, but I am a little concerned for those sheep with the weather, how it's looking right now.
You know, I don't know much about sheep myself. I can't really speak for them. I will say I'm glad to be out of the cold. It's been pretty cold today, so.
Let's just hope they haven't been sheared recently. And coming up.
Not the weather we were expecting, but we're still looking for a good crowd, and we're going to put on a show for sure.
We'll show you how these engineers got in on the Halloween spirit and why kids got to join in on the fun.
The pandemic prevented your potluck, but we'll show you a different football league that's back in action. And coming up in weather, I'll have your 7-day forecast. The current temperature is 38 degrees.
Oh, look, a redhead. Staring contest. You still got it. I know.
Come alive with the forest.
The dad was cute.
You were looking right at us. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
I'm Sarah Murphy. Welcome to ATV Weather. Now, we've given you a couple updates earlier in the show about the local storms. Let's find out what's going across the country with our national radar. If we look over here, we can see there's some notable systems throughout the U.S. Specifically over here in the East Coast, we've got some unsettled weather systems kind of resulting in some high wind results, high wind statements, high wind alerts. Over here in Utah, we have our storm here as well. We kind of experienced it today, and we might be experiencing it in the coming days. Let's take a closer look with our state radar. You'll see it's coming in from the west. We experienced it earlier this morning. Around noon is when the snow really began to fall. It might continue with us later throughout the day. We'll have to take a look later in our 7-day forecast to kind of get a closer look. But before we do that, let's get a visual, right, of what it looks like here with our Utah State University webcams. We're going to start out here with this nice shot of Old Main. It's pretty, it's green from yesterday to today. Total stark difference with the snow falling down. Next, we'll look at our Cache Valley view. Again, this is this time yesterday with the sun coming through. But today, just 24 hours later, you can barely see the clouds in the sky anymore. Over at Merrill Kazir Library, very empty without our beautiful Restless Spell. Now totally snowy. Again, just 24 hours later. Finally, we'll take a look at Logan Canyon with the nice fall colors, the beautiful sky. And today you'll see, well, you won't really see because it looks like the whole camera was covered with snow. Let's take a look at what we can expect in the next 7 days with our 7-day forecast. Today we have our chance of snow around 39 degrees with a low of 22. Tomorrow through Monday, kind of through Sunday, it looks like we'll be able to expect more sun. It's going to warm up kind of into the 50s with lows of the upper 20s, low 30s. By next Monday on Halloween and Tuesday, we might expect a little bit of sprinkling, but nothing like it was today, and a little bit more sun. You're all caught up with your weather. Back to you, Kai.
Thanks, Sarah. You might not be big or strong enough to play football, but I checked out a different league that anyone can play. Food and friends filling a garage on a Thursday night isn't an unusual sight. But what is unusual is the game they're playing. Electric football.
Picked up steam in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. For about 20 years in there, it was the #1 selling boys' toy in America.
The buzzing boys' toy may now have an older crowd gathered around to play, but that's not stopping the Tykes from taking their turn.
It's a boys' toy, so that's, it's 9 to 99. And they're obviously above 9 and under 99, so enjoying themselves.
Electric football's been around since the 30s. You might not have the same amount of players as you did back in the day, but you can still find garages like this one, packed with friends and families ready to play. Oh, yeah! The rules are pretty easy if you already know football. It's meant to be as close as possible to the real thing with just little plastic figures. Even for those in the bleachers, they say they still enjoy sticking around for the fun.
It's more complicated than you just think, you're setting these people up, but there's all kinds of things to it, the weight of the players and the different players and, which ones are faster.
This season, players and spectators are thrilled to be back in Liker's Garage for ageless tabletop fun.
After 2 years of the plague, it's nice to see all these folks in the setting, that everyone's having fun and can be relaxed again.
Liker says he's been playing since he was a kid, and he hopes to pass the buzzing electric torch to the next generation.
You probably know pigs can't fly, but with a little help from a hand-built trebuchet, pumpkins can? It was a pumpkin blast-off for the American Society of Mechanical Engineers during their annual pumpkin toss. Rain or shine, 9 teams prepared for takeoff to launch their pumpkins for the title in 4 categories: safety, design, distance, and accuracy.
Not the weather we were expecting, but we're still looking for a good crowd, and we're going to put on a show for sure.
A show that entertained people of all ages. North Logan City donated targets, and teams didn't hold back their celebrations when they hit their mark. The event ended with no sunshine to be found, but a candy toss kept the kids and parents smiling.
The Youth Conservatory, a Utah State student-led program for kids' piano lessons, are preparing for their Halloween recital. Paige Johnson visited their rehearsal to show us a sneak peek of their performance.
These aspiring musicians are practicing their music for the last time before their big night. Teachers have prepared them to perform iconic songs from movie soundtracks.
Over the Rainbow is one that's a pretty popular one for the younger kids, so I have a student performing in that one, and also in the James Bond piece and the America piece.
With Halloween around the corner, the Youth Conservatory wants the kids to dress up for the monster concert. Piano student Ashton Ammett says he's going to be
a ninja.
Ashton has been playing piano for 6 weeks and will be performing Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious in the concert. His mom says that the YC is a fantastic resource.
I love that each of my kids gets their own teacher that they're able to work with, and all at their own levels.
How many clicks? 8.
That's all I know how to play on the piano, but these kids have been practicing for weeks and are finally ready for their monster concert.
One thing that I love about being a part of the YC and the monster concert is the opportunity for all the youth and kids to just get to know each other.
They say the YC is an essential part of the community for kids learning piano basics. Paige Johnson, ATV News.
We're good. The students are performing their monster concert this Saturday at 6 p.m. in the Danes Concert Hall.
Does it feel like you deserve more? But, you're playing some really good teams.
And coming up in sports, Katie Varga shows us why women's soccer didn't win, but why they didn't walk away defeated.
find out how these circle of dancers kept Aztec tradition alive through the beat of the drums.
Listen, you're my friend.
I noticed you haven't really been yourself recently.
Yeah, I feel like something's up.
How are you?
Are you okay?
Is there anything you want to talk about?
I just want to know how you're feeling.
And listen, even if you don't know what to say, I'm here to talk.
No matter what you're going through,
I just want you to know I'm here.
I've got your back.
When you want to talk, I'm here.
Welcome to Aggie TV Sports. I'm Katie Varga. Let's jump right into high school football playoffs. The first game was Hurricane at Skyview. The Tigers would soon regret their mistakes after a drop touchdown pass. Then in the next play, Bobcat Taylor Lindley intercepted quarterback Garrett Grondel and moved that ball down the field 75 yards, which led to this touchdown by Bryton Williams. This started Skyview's huge advance in the game. Although the interceptions did not stop there. In the second quarter, Bobcat Court Rigby caught the ball thrown by Tiger quarterback Garrett Grondel. This led them to a touchdown by Michael Ferguson, which you will see right here. He picks up the ball, he hands it over, and there it is. This touchdown put a nail in the coffin, winning them 6-41, which is a crazy big difference. Skyview moves on to compete against Desert Hills this weekend. Next, we have Pineview at Ridgeline. The Hawks went in with no mercy, starting off the first quarter with an interception caught by Ashton McFarlane and traveled from the Panthers' 30-yard line all the way down to the touchdown, traveling a total of 70 yards. If you like a defensive game, this game might have been for you. Ridgeline not only made 2 turnovers like this one, it was caught again by Ashton McFarlane in the second quarter, but they were stopping Pineview in their tracks, not allowing them to score any points. The score ended in 0-24. This weekend, Ridgeline hosts Snow Canyon. Lastly, for high school playoffs, we had Bear River at Mountain Crest. The score was fairly even until Mustang Dax Benson scored this touchdown, which brought the Mustangs ahead. After this, the Bears could not keep up. The Mustangs' offense was on point, but their defense was killer. They held the Bears back, giving them no legroom. The game ended with a score of Bears 13 and Mustangs 41. This weekend, Mountain Crest goes down to compete against Dixie. For Utah State football, we went to Wyoming. In the first quarter, Titus Swen traveled 30 yards to score Wyoming's first touchdown. Then, in the second quarter, brushing past our defense, Swen scored again for Wyoming. And, you know, it wasn't looking too great for Utah State until finally Bishop Davenport traveled 5 yards for a touchdown. Although, we would only go on to score one more touchdown after Calvin Tyler Jr. swerved Wyoming's defense and traveled 31 yards. Titus Swen scored his third touchdown of the night, running straight through Utah State untouched. The game ended with Utah State 14 and Wyoming 28. Utah State's Campus Recreation hosted their first ever Unified Sports League this year. Virl Johansson explains what Unified Sports is.
Snapping the football, making a big catch, and running for touchdowns brought smiles to athletes and partners during USU's first ever Unified Sports flag football season.
Unified sports is when you combine folks with and without intellectual disabilities, put them on the same team, and we run an intramural league just like any other intramural league.
Athletes, people with intellectual disabilities, and partners, people without, learned to play together and created lasting memories.
As a participant myself in the past, it's one of the most rewarding experiences I can really imagine and remember.
While Unified Sports won't play another flag football game in Logan this year, athletes and organizers say they enjoyed playing and meeting new people.
Yeah, I'm glad you say put this on because, hey, it's a fun day. I get to be with these guys.
It's really fun to see how much the athletes and the partners are enjoying themselves.
They love the trash talk. They love the competition. But their biggest love?
Get on a touchdown.
Vol Johansson,
3, champions!
ATV Sports.
Utah State's unified teams will play other unified teams from around the state on Saturday at the University of Utah. Now, on to girls soccer. This game became a battle between the keepers because they were fantastic goalies. Aggies took some great shots like this one from Logan Foraker, but the Lobo goalkeeper Allie Davis blocked it. She ended up making a season high of 8 saves that day. The Lobos also had some good shots like this one, but USU goalkeeper Mackenzie Hunninghake could not be passed. She ended up with a career high of 4 saves. This game ended in a draw, which basically means it was 0-0. After a weekend of draws, head coach Mandy Martins said he is proud of the women for competing head-to-head with some tough teams.
A little bit of frustration because you feel like you deserve more, but you know, you're playing some really good teams, right? San Diego State's a good team. New Mexico, again, they're in the first place for a reason. You know, back-to-back Mountain West champions. It's not going to be easy, and even.
Next, we have Utah State volleyball. This weekend, we hosted Colorado State in the Spectrum. The Rams' defense was not messing around as they had 22 digs like this one in the first set. USU outside hitter Shelby Cabalanche led us with a double-double of 13 kills and 11 digs. In set 3, we jumped right in, getting a lead of 8-2. This set us up for our 25-17 victory. Although this wasn't enough. The Rams' outside hitters Kennedy Stanford and Malaya Jones got 5 kills in the 4th set. The Rams moved ahead in the final set at 25-22. This ended the game at 3-1, Rams as the victors. You're all caught up on sports. Back to you, Annika.
Thanks, Katie. Dancing is a timeless tradition that's dated back centuries. Marcus Lamb met with a group of traditional Aztec dancers at the Nuestros Raíces event and has some drum-pounding stories to tell.
With the sound of the drums, the Aztec dancers glide across the floor to perform the Pela de Fuego, the dance of fire.
We go to any invitation that they give us.
This circle is called Tradición Azteca, a non-profit organization that travels around the state and works together to share the ancient art of Aztec dance.
Some people may think it's ritualistic, and then we started to come together to create the different circles and the different styles of dancing.
This circle tries to make their dance as authentic as possible. The dancers first ask for permission from the spirits.
We cannot dance without doing that first, and we should not leave without doing it when we're done.
There were regalements of fire, water, earth, and air.
Those are the 4 elements that give all of us life.
Then they take that dancing energy and deliver it to the audience.
For this circle, it's not about hogging the spotlight or performing. It's all about sharing tradition and having a sense of pride in their roots.
And these dancers show off pride in more than just their regalements. The drums you see are more than just instruments. Wood is made from trees planted in Utah.
Once you hear the drum, it calls you and make you want to dance.
They're carved from actual wood, and that's Mother Earth's heartbeat.
Even though the Aztecs are gone, their sounds are still being heard today. Marcus Lamb, ATV News.
If you want to know more about Aztec tradition and their culture, visit our Facebook page.
And man, they had some pretty fancy footwork going on. That could not be me.
You know, I was a cheerleader for 7 years, but that is very different dancing. But Katie, don't you teach dance?
I sure do, and it is so much fun.
Okay, well, I don't know much about dance myself, and I don't know a ton about Aztec tradition, but if it's anything similar to that, what we just saw, it's pretty cool to me.